Welcome back to another exciting episode. Today is going to be something really different. Now, as you know, in the past I've done unboxings and reviews, and I've had multiple cameras and, sitting in front of a green screen, having all these little things pop up all over the place in the background. Well, this one, we're not going to do that because it's a initial setup video for the OSMO Action. It's just going to be the camera, the back of the camera I'm going to show. I'm going to show exactly what you go through, how you set it up. Very simple, very straightforward. So I hope this helps. This is here for educational purposes. If it helps you, great. It's something that you may want to look all the way through so you know everything to expect for the OSMO Action when you do the initial setup. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. Okay, here we are with the OSMO Action Cam right here. We're going to put the battery in. We're going to go ahead and put a 256 gigabyte micro SD card in here to get things ready. And then we're going to set this thing up and see what we got. Haha, so this is the setup video. Now, in order to put in a mini SD card into the OSMO Action, all you do is you push on this little button right there. That lifts up the tab, and right in there, you see that you can put, that is where you put the mini SD card. Now, the way it looks is, if you hold it like this, it looks like it goes in upside down. Let's see. Push that in there. There it is. Son of a gun. Now, I did pick this brand and the 256 gig micro SD because it worked on my OSMO Pocket, which is what this is being taped on right now, or videoed on right now. So if it worked in there, it should work with the OSMO Action. So we're going to go ahead and put that back together. I'm going to go ahead and put the battery in. Now, the battery only goes in one way, so if you put it in the wrong way, it doesn't go the whole way in. So you just have to make sure that gets in the correct way, and then you have this latch, and this latch should pop it right in. So there we go. So you pushed on that side, I pushed on that side. Make sure you don't see any orange, because if you do see some orange, see if I can make it see some orange. See there? If you see some orange, then you didn't push it in far enough. You have to push it in until that clicks and you don't see any orange on either one of those tabs. So there we go. Now, let's go ahead, put it in the case, and then we're gonna mount it on here, and we're gonna go ahead and try to set this thing up. By the way, the cool thing about this case is if you take a look, the buttons are exact duplicates of what's on the camera itself. So the case buttons and the camera buttons itself are exactly the same. So you can't really mess it up on how you put it in here. Kind of cool. Okay, first thing that I did, because at least at this time, there are no screen protectors at all for the OSMO Action. What I did is I went to Costco, and Eric was kind enough to put this on. It is the Invisible First Defense. It is a kind of a liquid glass. It's called nano glass. It is a liquid screen protector. It is not cheap by any means, just so you know, but it does have a 1-year warranty on it. And of course it does have that 9H hardness, which is scratch resistant. So there you go. Okay, let's turn this thing on to see what the initial setups are. All right, so you go ahead and you push the dispense button, which is the power on button. Hold that for a second. All right, now when you first power this thing up, as you will see, is you have the language selection. Now on the language selection, you have, of course, English. You have a lot of other Asian. You have Dutch, French. Of course, I'm going to go with English. With DJI Mimo, scan the code or install the Mimo app from the App Store, where I already have it in from the Osmo Pocket. Turn the Mimo app on. So there I have the DJI Mimo app. Go ahead and turn that on. See what we got. Oh, I have to enable Bluetooth on my phone. And there is the Osmo Action. Go ahead and I'm going to connect with that. Now over here it says it is verify a code. I have to push accept on the screen. Then of course it goes through the agreements, you know, sell your soul, all that kind of stuff. You hit agree. And now we need to activate the Osmo Action. So obtain Osmo device information. Yep, I do want to do that. And then hit next. And actually you can't do anything other than that. Activate after login. Osmo information will be linked to the account and server as proof of warranty. So I'm going to go ahead and log in on that. And I'm going to log in off screen. Okay, once you put your username and password in there, you go ahead and hit activate. It'll be activating on the phone. And then just missed it. There was actually a little check mark that popped up. Alrighty, so now you have a little check mark. That's actually what it looked like on the Osmo Action screen. And then, notice for beginners. Go ahead and push that. Oh, it just talks about inserting the micro SD card, how to power it on, shutter, record button, the QS, which is the quick switch button, how to use that, and of course the swipe screens, how to put the battery in, how to change a filter, and then all the different types of settings. So that's actually pretty cool. Done. Alright, so after you're done with that, then it asks you to install a firmware update. So let's bring this over, see if it does anything when I hit install. Thinking about it. There we go. Update success. Update successful. And now it's back to the regular settings. So let's go and see what we got. Okay, searching on the internet, I did find a little trick you have to do so this thing doesn't time out on you. Is you go into this little icon over here, which is the setup menu, and then you go to the auto power off, click that on. It's currently on 5 minutes. Click it to 15 minutes. So you have time to do the update, this thing's not gonna click off on you right in the middle of doing what you need to do. Of course, after the update, everything is going to be kind of reset. So let's go back in here, anti-flicker. I'm here in America, so I hit the button and I click on 60 Hertz because 60 Hertz is in the USA. 50 Hertz is usually over in Europe. Just a little hint. I keep hitting X instead of going back. I don't know why I'm doing that. But wireless connection, click on that. Now down here where it says frequency, now I put mine on 2.4 gigahertz simply because I have an older phone. Where it says voice controls, go in there. You can actually turn the voice controls on. Of course, you're in English. Now, if you don't know what the voice control command lists are, you can actually hit this button, and these are all the voice controls that you can do, including switch screen. So let's see if this works. Screen switch. Screen switch. You can also say things like, take photo. Of course, another way to switch screens is on the side. You have the quick switch. Then you just push that button, keep it in, and there you go. Do it again, and you're back to the regular screen. Okay, one thing that I want to make sure for me is I always shoot in 1080p 30 frames per second simply because that's what some of my other cameras used to be. So I kind of stick with that. I might switch to 4K now that I have two 4K cameras, but we'll see. But for now, I'm going to flip that up, and then you can change your resolution and your frames per second. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now up here, you can also turn on and off your rock steady, which is your image stabilization. Now when it's blue, that means it's on. You click it again, that means it's off. Now one thing that you do have to be careful when you go to flip this back down, that you kind of do it towards the center, because if you do it toward the side, you may accidentally hit that rock steady, and then you think you have rock steady on, but you really don't. So let's turn that back on, flip that back down, and there you go. Also, you'll see RS in the upper right hand corner. That of course indicates that rock steady is on. So those are just a couple hints and tips. And also down here on the lower left, you have your video. So make sure that it is on video. That does have that video on there. If it's oops. And you can actually do slow-mo from up here too. Son of a gun, look at that. So slow-mo, and it has SLO on the corner. Click on that, and you can also switch to photo. So if you have this little block down here, this little rectangle, that means you're in photo. So let's put that back to video. There we go. You can have HDR video if you want, but I really don't like that because, especially on this thing, you don't have rock steady, so why put it in HDR? That's just my thing. Alrighty, and that's pretty much the actual setup. Well, I hope you enjoyed this in-depth, step-by-step video on setting up the OSMO Action. If you could please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell while you're at it. I'd really appreciate it. And as always, have a great day.